I've broken down 16 different curved shapes, and I'm going to show you exactly how to roof every single one. If you want to follow along with me, which I totally recommend, I've uploaded this practice lot to the gallery. Just search for my username, Murjagon, and grab it. Quick reminder, curved rooms are in your build mode, walls and empty rooms, and there are 3 sizes: the rounded room large, and the rounded room extra large. For our first roof, we're going to start off with a circular roof. Place it, size it up until it fits perfectly over the curved room, as you see here. Then take a gabled roof, put it in the back, draw it all the way off to the side, pull it forward until it matches up with the circular roof. Then we're going to take our half-hip roof, rotate it so that the flat portion facing towards the circular roof, pull it over. We want it to match up with the point of the circular roof, approximately right there. Drop down the roof. You can use Alt to make this go more smoothly. Just pull things up or down accordingly to get everything to match up as much as you can. To make sure that all of the eaves match up, we can drop our eaves out, both on the circular roof and the half-hip roof. Now, there is a second way that I have figured out that works very nicely for this type of roof. Get rid of the gabled roof, and using your half-hipped roof, leave that as it is, copy it, rotate, and place it right here like so. What this is going to do is keep the flat bit of the half-hip roof from showing. So we just pull that in twice. Then, using your Shift-C key to bring up more options for the roof, angle the roof so that the side here is more flush. I'm thinking this would be really cool if on a large lot you made 3 copies of it and arranged it in a square. Then you could take this center portion, delete the ceiling, add in fencing and spandrels and columns to make this an internal garden for your house, just putting walls or fencing to block it off. And yeah, you would have yourself a really nice internal garden with a house going all the way around it, kind of Spanish style, if you will. This one is the second one that we're going to take a look at. And again, we want to start with our circular roof, and we will put that right here, size it up so that it fits the entire curved room again. Then we're going to copy it, and we're going to place it just here. I want this to be just a little bit larger. Make sure that the roofs are truly intersecting. Once you've got your round roofs looking kind of like Madonna's brassiere, then we're going to take a half-hip roof, twirl it around so that the flat bit faces towards the round roofs. We're going to pull it all the way across, and we are going to pull it upwards towards the round roofs until we hit this point here. Take a half-gabled roof, put it across like this, drag it like so, then bring the eaves out. Finally, to hide this bit, we bring the eaves outwards up here as well, and there you have it. There is another thing that we can do. Instead of a half-hipped roof, we can use full gabled roof and just do the exact same thing, pulling it out this way, and there you go, it is done. With this third roof, grab a circular roof again, pull it out. We want this to be pretty big, then copy it, place off to the side again so it looks like Madonna's brassiere. Copy the round roof another time, place that there. Then take the half-hipped roof, pull it over until it hits right about there on the round roof. Pull it forward until it intersects with the point of this round roof on our left. Simply bring it in 1, and you'll see that the point here matches up very nicely with the point on the roof. Grab your eaves, pull it out on the flat part of the half-hipped roof so that it gives you that nice seamless connection. To get this to match up nicely, about the only thing that we can do is create a room here on the second landing. My suggestion here would be to make this a tall wall, then take a fence like the iron railing here from vampires pack or your wrought iron fence for a base game. Draw the fencing just all the way across the top, and this gives you that nice mansard style roof. To get rid of this bit and to finish off the roof itself, take some half gabled roofs, place one down here in the front, bring it in to make sure that it matches. Get these eaves to even up here on the front, and copy the half gabled roof, place it over here so that it all matches up. One thing that we can do, if you don't want the eaves on the front and you don't want to mess around with the pitch of everything, we can embiggen this room by 1 on the front just so that it all matches up. That's probably the easiest way to do it. For the back here, we're going to take this round roof, we're going to pull out the eaves, copy the half gabled roof, put it here, rotate, then grab the eaves of the half hipped roof, pull that out like so, and I'm also going to drop down that round roof just so that it matches everything the best that we can. If you don't want a mansard style, we can shorten this room down to a short wall, get rid of all of the fencing, raise up all of the rooftops to cover up this little hidden second flooring, take a hipped roof, place it down, draw it off to the side and to the front, and boom, there we have it. Everything is nicely placed. The fourth one that we want to try today is this 3-round room build with the corner cut off. Grab a circular roof, pop it right in the center, enlarge this so that it's covering the entire build. Bring out the eaves. You notice it is clipping into the build a little bit. Shift C to bring up the blobules, and Alt and very carefully adjust it until it's no longer clipping. You can either leave this as it is or drop it down to create a lower roof. And then here on the side, we've got this overhanging roof, and what we can do is grab a column to create a little bit of structural integrity. An alternative method for this is gonna look weird, as you can see, but let me show you what I've done. We start off the 3 circular roofs, we draw out the eaves, and then we take a half hipped roof, place it like so to get the peak of the half hipped roof to match up with the middle bit of the circular roof, and then don't make the roof itself bigger, but we draw out the eaves to line up with that middle point perfectly. Alt drag the roof down so that it matches up as perfectly as we can get it with the top of the roof. Then draw out the eaves. You're gonna copy this, place it down, and you're going to rotate it over to the other side so that it looks just like this. Then we take half hipped roofs, copy them, place it down on the side here, rotate it to fit in, copy, place, and rotate. Now that we've got it looking like this, take a diagonal gabled roof, place it here, draw it out so that it covers the entire side here, pull this in towards the center of the roof, bring this out a second time so that we've got this overlay here, tidy it up, take the eaves on this end, hit shift so only the eaves on this side move, bring that out, grab your Alt key, drop it down to make sure that the roof here matches the top of the round roof, grab some columns and place them just underneath your rooftop here so that it provides a little bit of structural stability. For this roof, what I like to call the Pac-Man roof, we are once again going to start with a circular roof, plop that right here, bring it out, bring out the eaves until it looks like this. Copy and place 2 more times on each of these round bits here. To take care of all of these weird bits, let's start off with the gabled roof. Place it like that. Pull this over like so until it fits. Copy this, place it here, rotate it, and move it around until it matches exactly. We've got this looking pretty nice. The only problem is we've got these corners that we need to get rid of. Take some half-hip roofs, pull it up like so, shrink it down, just matching everything as well as we can. If we bring out the eaves, that will make it look better. Raising up the pitch to make it match the roof, bringing out the eaves a little bit, mess around and fiddle with things using alt placement for the roofs just to get it lined up just perfectly. Grab that roof, copy it, place it here on this edge, moving things around so that it all matches up nicely. There we go. Next one that we're gonna do is the round roof with the side bit still intact. We're gonna take our circular roof, plop that right there as close to the middle as we can, and embiggen the roof to make it cover the rooftop completely. Then drop the eaves down, Shift C to bring up more of the blobs, Alt, and maneuver the rooftop until it looks a bit like a witch's hat. If we don't want to have such a huge peak, drop it down like so, or we could even make this completely flat. If you don't want a simple round roof on this, we can do something a little bit fancier by grabbing a round roof and beginning it so it fits one part of the roof, then copy, and we're just gonna do this to cover the entire roof. To get rid of all of these weird little bits, we're gonna take our half-gabled roof, place it, draw it in, bring out all of the eaves on the round roofs, and simply take the half-gabled roof, copy it, paste it in, adjusting just so that it nestles in like so, and we are gonna fix this in a bit, but we're gonna repeat this process all the way around the roof here. Lower this roof to make it even with the circular roofs here, and just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to shift and get rid of these eaves on the top. We're going to make another mansard roof by drawing a room like so, and again we can either turn this into a proper mansard by putting fencing in and making it all nice and neat. If you want to learn how to make proper mansard roofs, I do have a full tutorial where I walk through Victorian style house. I will link that in the description if you want to take a look at that video. If we don't want to make a mansard roof, we just grab the hipped roof, place the hipped roof on, making it large enough to cover, then bring down the eaves, and there you have it. This is a perfectly round build, just a pure circle. There's a few ways you can do this. Circular roof all the way across is the simplest way to do it, with or without eaves, depending on your preference. Another thing you can use here, the octagonal roof, if you wanted to, just to make it look that little bit extra fancy or decorative. If you use the octagonal roof, I do recommend that you use the eaves, or it's going to give you this weird effect here where the top of the circle isn't quite covered. So moving over to the oval build using 4 round rooms that I've just slightly elongated. The way to roof this, take 2 circular roofs, embiggen it so that it covers pretty much one full side of the build, copy it, place it down, and now we're left with this extremely weird looking thing to fix the edges. There's a couple of things you can do here. The easiest would be to take a gabled roof, bring the gabled roof all the way over to the side, then alting it into the edges, bringing in the eaves, then grabbing the circular roofs, tweaking them until it all matches up perfectly here on the top, as you can see. Bring the eaves on the circular roofs out if you want eaves, or bring the eaves in on the gabled roof if you don't want eaves. Easy, right? Right. Let's move on to this one. Start off by using our round roof, stretch the roof outwards like so until it completely covers one end of the build. build, and then we're gonna copy it, place it over here on this side, make this just a little bit larger. This will keep the gap a little bit smaller on the edges when you bring out the eaves. That's pretty much fixed. This is a diagonal build. We will want to take our diagonal gabled roof and do the exact same thing that we did before, pulling that out. I've messed up there, so we just want to rotate that and pull the out so that the roof matches up with the edges, then bring it up to match the top of the rounded roofs, bring in the eaves on both sides, tweak the rounded roofs so that the point of the roofs match up with the top bit of the gabled roof. Take the eaves and we'll pull the eaves out. There is a problem with this. If you have noticed it, please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think it is. If you commented that the gabled roof totally does not sit flush with these rounded roofs, you would be correct. What we need to do to fix that is Shift C to bring up the extra globules on the roof, Alt-ing to get the roof to come in, and then Shift C the round roof to bring up more globules, and try to make it a little bit better with this roof. This is the problem with diagonal roofs. I don't know why they don't like to lay flush like the regular roofs do, but such is life. If that bothers you, and it probably will bother you, there is another way that we can fix this. We can try a half gabled roof and see if that works. And you notice it works a little bit better than the full gabled roof. Copy place on the other side, and there you have it. Shrink down the round roof a little bit and see if that works a little bit better. Bring the eaves out of this roof here and Alt place to drop it down just a bit. Alt place, sliding it down just like so until it fits as perfectly as we're gonna get it. We've got this one next. This is the exact same as this one, except it only has one curved portion. So again, we're gonna grab our circular roof. Are you sensing a pattern here? I really hope so. We're going to embiggen this roof, and we want to place it right on the edge of the curved bit. We can either take a half-hipped roof. We'll want the diagonal, and what we can do is we can rotate it so that the open end faces towards the round bit of the roof. Stretch that over, bring it in, shrink it down by 1, bring down the round roof by a little bit, then bring out the eaves on the edges of the roof. There you have it. Other way that we can do it is, if you don't want a half hipped, you could probably use your diagonal gabled. Place the roof, we'll rotate it so that the flat edge is facing towards our round roof. Bring this in, raise it up a little bit to match the roof, bring in the eaves by shift clicking and pulling. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop that down. Again, that gives us an overhang. So to fix this, we're going to take a hipped diagonal roof, pull it out, drop it down. Basically, what we want is something that looks pretty much like that. Bring out the eaves. We can bring it in by 1, I think, to make it look a little bit better. And basically, we're going to copy that, paste it just here on this side. Go ahead and bring these both in again. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to get rid of this bit here. So if we make it a little bit larger, bring the eaves in, bring it in towards the roof, raise this up, Shift C to bring up the extra globules. I think that's the way I'm gonna have to do it, is Shift C on the hipped roof pieces and using the Alt placement to bring the roof up just a little bit to try to hide this bit as much as I can. Bring in the sides until the edge piece here is almost completely gone. The two seams are almost invisible. It's definitely better than the other way, I think. Whichever way you decide to do it is up to you. Moving on to number 11. If you are all finding this helpful for your builds, please do hit the hype button if you can see it, or like the video, or both, so that it helps YouTube know that people are finding this video useful. We're gonna start off with a circular roof, much like we have done with every other build here. Embiggen this circle, take our half-hipped roof, again with the flat edge towards the circle, draw it in to about there, and pull it towards the back, making it the exact same size as our circle, so that this middle seam matches up with the top of the circular roof. Grab the eaves, pull them out so that we get that nice seam that I've talked about before. Take another half-hipped roof, put it on this side. We want this small edge here with the roof. We're going to rotate that again so that the flat bit is facing towards the other roof pieces. Bring it across and then bring it in until it lines up with this roof. We want the seams to match up, as you can see right there. Next, we're going to take a half-gabled diagonal roof, rotate it so that the flat end is facing the other roofs. Place that just like so. Bring the eaves in there so that it matches very, very nicely. Alt, dropping the roof. We've got this horrible gap here, and we don't want another mansard style. We've made several of them already this video, although you could make a mansard style if you wanted to, but what I'm gonna do instead is we're just gonna drop that down, just like that, and make sure that it all matches up nicely with the eaves and the seams and everything. There we are, and then bring the eaves out on all of the other roofing bits. And again, this isn't perfect, but it's probably the best we're gonna get. If you want to mess around with the edges here, you can try to do the Shift-C trick and very carefully alt to make the roof a little bit curvy, just so it looks slightly better. Kinda like that is probably about the best that you're going to get. I know I said that I didn't want to do another mansard style, but if you want to do another mansard style, I would suggest that you create a room just like this, and you can bring it in so that it goes into the roof like this, and it creates a nice second story. Something like this, and then make the wall taller so that it looks better. Add your windows in, and you could bring this all the way out to, this bit here, to bring the rooms like that, so that you've got this look. If you don't want this, then you can bring in this bit here. It will give you this lip. What you can do with that is grab your diagonal hipped roof, bring that all the way across, flatten it. That's probably gonna be the best that you can do for that. And then roof up here however you want. This can be either a mansard, or you can actually put in proper rooftop, which can be as simple as a series of roofs. In this case, I would actually suggest that you just use gabled roofs like this, and then with this bit here, you could actually use a diagonal hip again, just to make this a flat roofing situation. There you go, just like that. This is kind of like a stately home type of build. To roof this, start with your round roof. We just want the roof to be as large as it takes to make it look like this on the front and the top. Then we're going to take a hipped roof. We're gonna place the hipped roof here, draw it all the way across, all the way over, and then we're going to take another hipped roof and do the same thing on this end. Draw the hipped roof over and bring it all the way to the back to make sure that the seams match up. We've got this weird looking roof. To fix that, take a diagonal roof, raise it up to match up with the edge there, then shift to get rid of the eaves, drop down the round roof top, bring in the eaves like so, and make sure that the round roof matches the eaves as perfectly as we can. Another way we can fix this, maybe let's embiggen the circle a little bit to make sure that it's going into this joined roof. If we do it twice, that makes it look quite a bit better. So let's try a half-hipped diagonal roof. I'm raising the peak just so that I can see what we're doing. And if we rotate it so that the peak is facing towards our circle, make it a little bit larger so that it's nicely lined up with the top of the circle. We bring in our eaves twice on the flat edge, and then we bring this down using our Alt key to make sure that it lines up perfectly. That works a little bit better. There you have it. That is our 12th build for today. Moving over to build number 13, and I'm going to ask all of you, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. We are sitting at just under 2,400 subs for this channel at this current point in time. My goal right now is 3,000 subs. If you're enjoying the video, please do hit the subscribe button and help me reach my 3,000 subscriber goal. You know the drill. Let's grab our round roof, place it here. Again, make it as big as we need to. What I'm gonna start off doing, I think, is taking a hip roof, place it here on the corner, bring out the roof about this size. We want the peaks of the roofs to be about the same height for this. Take a diagonal gabled roof. We want to cover up these gaps here that's caused by the intersection of the round roof and the hipped roof. Taking the diagonal gabled roof, place that right about there, put it just like so, and draw it across about like that. Alt drop this round roof just to get it as even as I can. Take another half-hipped roof, place it like so on this end, bring it out, just make it so that it all matches up. Grab this half-hip roof again, place it there, just copy, just make sure that everything is nice. And then finally, this is going to be the difficult bit. Pull it to there. I've made a mistake with this build. I've made this side one wall too big. Now, you might find with that you do this as well in builds, and I've purposely kept this in this video instead of going back and fixing it, just so that I can run through with you how to fix roofing problems like this. So what we're gonna do, this is a very simple fix. All I'm going to do is take a half-hipped roof, rotate it so that it looks like this. It doesn't really work very well. We could take a diagonal half-hipped roof and drawing it in like that takes care of that problem right there. We can take the roof like so, pull it in, and that's quite nice. Or we could go ahead and grab our half-hipped as well here, rotate, pull in, and there we go. So moving on to our 13th lucky number for some build. It's basically just a square with a round room attached to it and kind of bumping out from it. Put a round roof here, take a gabled roof and pull the gabled roof all the way up like this. If you did it this way, what I would suggest is that you elongate the circular roof there to kind of make a bit of a tower. Or if you wanted to, you could drop that down to make it the same pitch as your roof, in which case I would suggest that you do that little eaves trick that we've talked about before. Grab yourself a half-gabled roof or a half-hip roof, depending on your personal style. Get that across, drop it down so that it's flat, half-hit, and drop it down to make it flat again, just to hide these corners like this. And then you could drop that down. So instead of doing it this way, what you could do is take a flat round platform, put it up here, rotate it so that the round bit is overlapping the round bit of the room below. Raise the platform by a few ticks to bring out the eaves there, and you've got yourself a pretty nice looking build here. Instead of using a half hip roof there, go ahead and use your gabled. Bring it out like that so that it looks like that. Then bring in the eaves so that it's not overhanging. Now moving on to the penultimate build. For this roofing situation, take our circular roof, again making it large enough that it covers the entire section of roof. Take whatever roof you want. You can use a gabled roof. You can use a half-hipped roof. Either one of those will work absolutely perfectly with this. If we use the gabled roof, for instance, bring it forward, make it as large as you need, and bring it in so that it matches the roof. I'm actually going to shrink the roof by 1 so that the peaks match. Bring this out and use our eaves trick. Bring the eaves out here on the rounded roof. You can see that it looks quite nice. Do the exact same on this side by copying, placing, rotating, and there you go. It's done. This is definitely a way to do it. If you don't like gabled roofs, you can use a half hip roof, flat bit towards the round roof, bring it in, draw the eaves in, just so that it looks a little bit better. Bring the bottom eaves out, and once again, grab, copy, place, rotate, and because I didn't quite place it in the right place, there we go, move it, and there you go. That is pretty much perfect. To say thank you for liking, for hyping, for subscribing, maybe even joining as a paid member, whichever you've done, even if you just watched the video all the way through, thank you so much. Here is a little love heart for you all. This is using this small rounded rims, and because it was the only way I could get the heart to look good, grab the circular roof, place that on top, embiggen it, copy, place, take the half-hipped roof, matching it to the peak of the round roof. If we don't want it to be that steep, let's drop that down just a little bit. Copying this, rotating, matching the pitches of the roofs, then drop the eaves down on these half-hipped roofs. If you don't like the way that these roofs are overlapping, use the Shift C trick to match up the edges that little bit better, making sure that everything is even, bringing this up to be about as perfect as we can get. Bring down the eaves. There you go. One heart-shaped house, very nicely roofed on all sides. There you have it, 16 curved room shapes that won't make you want to throw your keyboard away anymore. Now that you've conquered roofing, you need to know how to stop objects from floating above your terrain, because that is the next building nightmare we're fixing. Click the video on the screen right now to learn that trick.